Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the new, you asked for it, we're giving it to you, Kissing Bandit t-shirt, only at tpublic.com/user/YoBroNation1. Come get the shirt before he comes for you, and you know what he'll do, get the t-shirt, only at the TeePublic store for YoBroNation, YoBroNation1 at tpublic.com. Get it before he kisses you. Really, seriously, go get it. Buy it.
Welcome, Yo Bro Nation, to the final review for the countdown to Halloween.
Right, okay, yeah, I can't do it. I have a crappy voice and I'm sounding more like The Undertaker. Welcome, Yo Bro Nation, to our final video for the countdown to Halloween, Halloween countdown, whatever you want to call it. This is the final one. This is it. It is Halloween Day. Happy freaking Halloween. This is Halloween. No, like this is the review. The 1978 Halloween. That's what I'm reviewing today. This has been a long time coming. I would say this has been over the course of 5 weeks, but I've been recording this over the course of a few days. But here I am. Despite the timing, they've all come out. This is the final one. Speaking of, if you didn't know, earlier today I did my review for It for 2017. That video, I will link it in the description. But here we are, the 1978 Halloween. I got a little bit of a backdrop for this video. Not much, but hey, I'm trying. production, whatever. So yeah, let's talk about the 1978 Halloween. Of course, this started Donald Pleasance as Dr. Loomis and Laurie Strode as Laurie Strode. Did I say? Laurie Strode starring as Laurie Strode. Jamie Lee Curtis starring as Laurie Strode. Oh my gosh. I might be burnt out. But yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode. Now, this of course was directed by John Carpenter. He also did the music, the score, which is a very memorable score. As a matter of fact, I did a variation of that for the intro for today's video. So I hope you enjoyed that as well. This movie had a good cast. Um, I'm sure by now most people have seen this movie, but in case you haven't, I will avoid spoilers in this movie. Because, to me, this is a movie that has stood the test of time. You got Michael Myers, who I will refer to in this review as the Shape. So if you're like, well, who was the Shape? I'm referring to Michael Myers. That's what people know for this movie is Michael Myers. But see Michael right there. That's Michael. Yeah. And then that's Freddy, and there's Jason, and then there's another Jason right there, and then there's yeah. Anyways, so I'll refer to him as the Shape. I don't know what the heck I just did. Of course, the Shape in this movie was portrayed by both Nick Castle and Tony Moran collectively. So, Halloween. Well, Halloween takes place in the late 60s. The beginning of this movie takes place in the 60s. I believe it was 65 or 66. It's just off the top of my head. Where you see Judith Myers and her boyfriend being watched from outside. They go upstairs to do a little boom boom time, if you know what I mean. And while they're up there, this guy probably needs to do stuff to make himself better at his boom boom time, because this was the quickest boom boom I think I've ever seen. But someone's prowling through the house. They pick up a mask, they put the mask on, and they're in the kitchen, they get a knife. Well, as the boyfriend's leaving, the person goes up the stairs. There you see a fully nude Judith Myers getting stabbed. Once the individual has stabbed her, they go back downstairs to where Mommy and Daddy show up. And I don't think they gave them names in this. But Mommy and Daddy Myers show up to unmask the villain, who turns out to be young Michael Myers. Now, Michael, was he 6 years old? Maybe that's where I'm getting the 66 from. Believe Michael was 6 years old or so at the time of at this moment. So then you flash forward to the year 1978, and you see Dr. Loomis and the nurse going to transfer him. Now you see them talking. It's a rainy night, but as they show up to Smith's Grove, you realize things are bad. There's patients out, and everyone's loose and running around. And somehow Michael has escaped and learned how to drive, which you actually find out in a later movie, which is no longer canon. It's a different timeline, but you learn how Michael actually learned to drive. But Michael drives off after attacking the nurse. Forgive me, I forgot her name. It might come to me before the end of this. But he runs off. Dr. Loomis, he knows where he's going. Dr. Loomis talks to Dr. Wynn and explains to him, hey, I gotta go. It's your guys' fault that he's out. I know where he's heading. Now I gotta go stop him. Which leads you back to Haddonfield, where you see a young Laurie Strode and her friends just doing teenage stuff. Babysitting on Halloween night, candy and pumpkins and everything that's fun about Halloween. And that's where our story sets off. Now, in the original sequel, you find out that Michael was brother and sister with her. And none of that really matters, so we're not going to talk about that. But throughout the course of this movie, you see the Shape watching Laurie, watching her friends, and not till you get to the second act do you really see him taking lives. He's killing teenagers. But you see Laurie, and you see her friend Annie, who was played by Nancy Kyles. I think I spelled her name wrong. Nancy Keys. We'll just call her Keys. But Annie and her are planning how they're going to do the babysitting. One's got Tommy. The other one's got little Lindsay Wallace, who actually play a little part later in the movie. Remember how I talked in the video earlier today about child actors kind of sometimes just kind of being a nuisance? Yeah, in this movie, especially little Tommy Doyle, he just whined too much. And then you had Lindsay, who was like a robot. Okay, I'll get her. La, la, la. Sorry, I'm hating on children, but it's the truth. That's just kind of how they were. Of course, Dr. Loomis meets up with Sheriff Brackett to tell him, look, I have to talk to you. I have an escaped patient. So they start on their little adventures. There's like 3 different stories going on here. You got Annie's story of what she's doing and how her friends and her little part are getting messed with. You got Lori and her doing what she's doing over here. Then you got Dr. Loomis and Sheriff Brackett kind of going around looking for Michael as people are starting to panic. Some people are starting to panic. I'm not going to give spoilers away. I'm not going to give no spoilers away as to who dies and who lives. But I'll put this back down over here. This movie, like I said at the beginning, it has stood the test of time. This is a fantastic movie. I have heard people talk about it and say it's actually not that good. I would disagree. Deckard, love you, bro, but this is a really awesome movie. But I like his perception, and it does have flaws. It does have flaws. One is, why does it take Michael so long to decide to go after people? And why didn't they not explain in this movie what actually is the reason Michael was after Lori? What was the reasoning behind it? I mean, you could assume it's just wrong place, wrong time, because she showed up at the Myers house to drop off a key. It could be that. The children in this movie weren't that great. The decision making of the teenagers in this movie, oh my God, why would you make these decisions? But it's a teen slasher film, right? It was a slasher film. This is what was supposed to happen. But the shape, the aura, his almost mystical like attributes where he's in one place but then he's in another. And in this, he's still just human, but you don't know that because he doesn't have any human-like actions. He doesn't speak. He's quiet. Even Dr. Loomis says, he's been my patient for 16 years and he's never spoke. But now, it was like nothing. There was nothing in his eyes, and now he's out. And now what is his purpose? Why is he back? What is he wanting to do? He killed his sister, Judith. So, I mean, it's a good movie. That's really it. There's not much one that I can actually say that would not give spoilers. I mean, the plot is simple. Dr. Loomis is looking for him. Lori is going to try to survive, but that's not till the end of the movie. Michael's going around and killing teenagers having sex. That is the whole onus of this movie. Some would say there's a psychological tone to this movie that some might pick up on. I'm not one of those people. I watched this movie not to see what the point of it is and what is their idea behind it and what type of agenda are they trying to push or any of that. I just like the movie, and I always have. And between that and Nightmare on Elm Street series, these are the movies I love to watch the most. To me, these are the standards for what horror was in this time period between the 70s and then to the 80s. These are the movies I loved the most. And that's why I started with one and I ended with one to bookend them. Laurie Strode's character is good. You can really see the innocence, and I think that's why she survived. As far as her friends, they're sleazy. She has sleazy friends. You have, who did they have? You had Linda, who was played by PJ Souls, and you had Annie, who, with all intents and purposes, were kind of hoes. Not that they slept with dudes, but that was like, we're just wanting to have some sex. That's all we want. We want some sex. Sexy time is what we need. And that's what they got. And they also got a knife in the head. In most of these movies, they like a high body count. But in this one, you don't really have that. There's not a high body count in this. And I can completely appreciate that. What what John Carpenter did with how he directed this, with how he shot it, with the lighting, how you never really get a great look of Michael throughout the movie. He's always just kind of lurking in the shadows. Or how he'll just kind of, like I said, you have that mystic vibe about him, that mystical vibe, and how he'll just kind of appear out of nowhere. Best example of that is towards the end of the movie where Laurie's kind of standing in the doorway and you see the closet behind her. And you see Michael just kind of, he's there and he just slowly starts to appear. You see the white of his mask. And I love it. I love this movie. And it does have its negatives. It does. And for me, the things I listed off are just me nitpicking. Honestly, and I've nitpicked for most of these movies, but I'm trying to be objective. I'm trying to be objective and not glorify these movies for someone else to watch it and then maybe be like, oh, it's not what you made it sound to be, which is fine. Go watch these movies. Go watch these movies for yourself. Watch these movies before Halloween. You know, watch this one tonight. Watch the original Halloween on Halloween night. So that's what I implore you to do. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give this movie a 10 out of 10 on our Yo Bro scale. That's what I'm going to start calling it now, the Yo Bro scale, 10 out of 10. I love this movie. I really do. It has a special place in my heart. Didn't like the sequel as much. It convoluted things. I'm glad they retconned it. I'm glad they came out with the new Halloween. Speaking of, I have a special Halloween video tonight, sometime by midnight or by early tomorrow morning. That video will be up. It's our Halloween special. It will be up. You guys can enjoy it. It's top secret. No one's going to know what it is until I post it. You may be shocked to see what it actually is, though. So, thank you guys. You can go to all our social media platforms, Twitter and Facebook. We are starting an Instagram account. Might as well. You can also join us on Patreon and become the Yo Bro Patreon network. Donate as little as $3, and that would be helpful. And if you don't want to donate and get the exclusive content that we have on there, you're more than welcome just to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. You can also subscribe to our newest channel, our sister channel, the Yo Bro Podcast Network. We have that. We have content coming on it. I have the new Daredevil Season 3 video up on that channel. If you want, I'll link that into the description below as well. You guys can go and watch that there. We got Raw, SmackDown. I'm doing NXT again. After this week, I decided not to do NXT this week because I have so much stuff for Halloween to do. So next week, I'll be back doing NXT finally after years. Also, just, go to our Twitter. Follow us on Twitter, YoBroGaming1. You can get all our latest information on there as well. So I'm Zach with the Yo Bro Gaming and Reviews channel. Thank you guys for coming to this channel. Thank you for joining us here on Halloween Day. From me and JD and Jake and Wayne and everyone who's ever been a part of this channel, thank you guys so much. I greatly appreciate everything you guys do for us. Yo Bro, and why do I say that? Yo Bro. So thank you, nation. Thank you, nation. And you guys have yourself a fantastic Halloween. Stay safe, guys. I love you.